In a world full of distractions, chaos, and uncertainty, it's easy to feel overwhelmed. But what if you could train your mind to remain unshaken, no matter what life throws at you? Imagine finding peace amidst the storm, by simply acting as if nothing disturbs you anymore. This isn't about suppressing your emotions or avoiding reality. It's about embracing a mindset of inner strength and resilience. A mindset rooted in one of the most powerful philosophies in history, Stoicism. In this video, we'll explore how the ancient Stoic wisdom can empower you to stay calm, composed, and unshaken, no matter what life throws at you. Let's dive in. Number 1. View obstacles as opportunities. Life throws obstacles at us all the time, right? Whether it's a setback at work, a relationship hurdle, or even something personal, we all face challenges. But what if we could reframe those challenges, not as roadblocks, but as stepping stones to something better? It all starts with perspective. When most people hit an obstacle, they think, "Why me?" or "I'll never get past this." But successful people, they ask themselves a different question. They ask, "How can I grow from this? What can I learn?" This simple mindset shift is key. Instead of focusing on the problem, you focus on what the problem can teach you. Every challenge carries a lesson. Let's take a few examples. Think about Steve Jobs, fired from the very company he started, Apple. That's a major setback, right? But guess what? Instead of giving up, he went on to create Next and Pixar, which later played huge roles in his comeback. The obstacle, getting fired, became his greatest opportunity for growth. Or how about someone like Oprah Winfrey, fired from her first TV job, but that rejection became the fuel she needed to build her media empire. These are extreme examples, but the principle applies to all of us, no matter how big or small the obstacle. Now, let's talk about something called the growth mindset. This concept, developed by psychologist Carol Dweck, emphasizes the belief that abilities and intelligence can be developed through hard work and perseverance. Instead of seeing failure as a reflection of your abilities, the growth mindset views failure as a part of the process, a learning opportunity. When you think this way, obstacles don't seem so intimidating. They're just part of your journey to success. So, how do we apply this mindset shift in our own lives? Here are 3 actionable tips to help you start viewing obstacles as opportunities. When an obstacle shows up, instead of dwelling on it, start focusing on the solutions. What can you control? What can you change? Shift from, "Why is this happening to me?" to "What can I do about it?" Many of us get stuck because we're too focused on the destination, but success is about the journey. The obstacle you're facing is part of that process, and it's often in those tough moments where the most growth happens. Remember, the journey shapes you. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? Maybe the obstacle is teaching you patience, resilience, or creativity. If you can extract a valuable lesson from every setback, you'll always move forward, no matter how difficult things seem. So, the next time you face an obstacle, don't see it as a reason to give up. See it as an opportunity to learn, grow, and become stronger. Remember, obstacles are the building blocks of success. Number 2, don't suffer imaginary pains. You know, those worries and anxieties we create in our minds that never actually happen. So, if you're someone who overthinks, this one is for you. Let's learn how to stop suffering from imaginary pains. First, let's talk about what imaginary pains are. These are mental or emotional pains we create for ourselves through overthinking, worrying, or imagining worst-case scenarios. They're called imaginary because they aren't happening in reality. They're fears or problems that only exist in our minds. But here's the kicker. 90% of these things never happen, and yet we let them steal our peace and make us anxious. We put ourselves through suffering for things that aren't real. Why do we do this? Well, it's because our brains are wired to protect us. It's a survival mechanism. Thousands of years ago, when we were hunter-gatherers, imagining worst-case scenarios kept us alert and safe from real dangers, like wild animals or natural disasters. But fast forward to today, and we're not running from saber-toothed tigers anymore. Yet our brain still overreacts to modern threats, like a job interview or a difficult conversation. Now, what's the cost of this habit? Well, imaginary pains can lead to real consequences: chronic stress, anxiety, lack of sleep. It can take a serious toll on your mental and physical health. When you're constantly worrying about things that haven't even happened, you rob yourself of the present moment. You lose focus on what's real and what truly matters. How to stop suffering imaginary pains. Recognize the pattern. Catch yourself when you start spiraling into what-if thoughts. Acknowledge that you're imagining problems, not facing real ones. Practice mindfulness. Ground yourself in the present moment. Take deep breaths. Focus on your surroundings and let go of hypothetical scenarios. Challenge your thoughts. Ask yourself, is this thought based on reality or fear? And what's the worst that can really happen? Focus on what you can control. Stop worrying about the things that are out of your hands and put your energy into what you can influence in the here and now. One of the most liberating things we can do is let go of imaginary pains and focus on what is real. It's easier said than done, but once you start, it's a life-changing habit. You deserve to live free of unnecessary suffering. So the next time your mind starts to wander down that dark path, stop and remind yourself, it's not real, it's imaginary pain. Don't give it the power to control your happiness. If you found this video helpful, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more tips on how to live a happier, healthier life. Let me know in the comments, what's one imaginary pain you're letting go of today? I'd love to hear your stories. Number 3, embrace impermanence. Whether you're dealing with change, loss, or just trying to make sense of life's twists and turns, understanding impermanence can be a game changer. Let's explore how. Impermanence is a fundamental truth of life. It means that nothing stays the same. Everything is constantly changing, evolving, or passing away. From the seasons to the growth of plants to our own lives, everything is in a state of flux. In Eastern philosophy, especially Buddhism, impermanence, or anicca, is one of the 3 marks of existence. It's the idea that life is transient, and holding on to anything too tightly can lead to suffering. But if we accept change, it can open up a new way of living. So why do we resist change? Well, it's human nature. We crave stability. We want things to stay the same, especially when they're good. Our relationships, our health, our jobs. It's easy to cling to the familiar. But life doesn't work like that. Things are always shifting. The key is how we respond to that change. Resisting it often leads to stress, anxiety, and frustration, but embracing impermanence, that leads to growth. Now, let's talk about the benefits of embracing impermanence. When you accept that nothing is permanent, you stop clinging to things. You start appreciating the present moment for what it is, without fear of losing it. This can help you develop greater resilience, patience, and peace of mind. Think about it. When you truly accept that difficult moments will pass, you feel lighter. And when you realize that even great moments are temporary, you start to cherish them even more, living fully in the now. Here are a few tips. Practice mindfulness. Pay attention to the present moment, whether you're drinking your coffee, walking, or just breathing. This reminds you that life is happening now and it's constantly changing. Let go of attachment, whether it's material possessions, relationships, or goals. Try not to hold too tightly to things. Appreciate them, but understand they are temporary. Meditate on change. Spend a few minutes every day reflecting on how things have changed in your life. This could be something small, like your emotions, or something bigger like life events. It's a reminder that change is natural. Embrace discomfort. Understand that discomfort and uncertainty are part of life. Instead of fighting against them, see them as opportunities to grow. Change is inevitable, and impermanence is a fact of life. But when we stop resisting it and start embracing it, we can live more fully, with less fear and more gratitude. Impermanence teaches us to let go, to grow, and to appreciate each moment for what it is, fleeting but beautiful. Remember, life isn't about holding on. It's about flowing with the river, trusting the process, and finding peace in every phase of the journey. Number 4, master the art of detachment. Have you ever found yourself holding on to something too tightly? Whether it's a relationship, a goal, or even a past mistake, attachment can weigh us down. Today, let's explore how to master the art of detachment and discover true inner freedom. Detachment isn't about not caring, it's about caring deeply while understanding that you can't control everything. The more we cling, the more we suffer. Detachment allows us to live fully without being overly affected by outcomes or the actions of others. Attachment is the root of suffering. Buddha. Attachment arises when we tie our happiness to external circumstances. It's the "I'll be happy when" mindset. Whether it's waiting for a promotion, approval from others, or a specific outcome, we trap ourselves in a cycle of dependency. Detachment, on the other hand, frees you from this cycle, allowing you to be content no matter what happens around you. Letting go isn't about giving up. It's about releasing your grip on things you can't control. The paradox is, when you let go, you gain more power over your emotions and reactions. The tighter we hold onto something, the more it can control us. By letting go, we invite peace and perspective. So how do we practice detachment in everyday life? Let's break it down into 3 simple steps. The first step is becoming aware of what you're attached to. Pay attention to your thoughts and notice when you're overly fixated on a specific outcome. Mindfulness allows you to observe without judgment. Step 2. Shift your perspective. Recognize that you can't control everything. Reframe your thinking by asking yourself, what's the worst that could happen if this doesn't go as planned? This allows you to release fear and embrace flexibility. Step 3. Letting go with gratitude. Finally, practice gratitude. Letting go doesn't mean ignoring the good. It's about appreciating what's here, right now. Express gratitude for what you have, instead of focusing on what you lack. When you practice detachment, you'll notice several benefits. You'll experience less anxiety, more mental clarity, and a deeper sense of freedom. You'll be able to enjoy life without constantly worrying about what's next. By mastering detachment, you learn to let go of what you can't control and hold on to the one thing that truly matters, your inner peace. Detachment is an ongoing practice. It's not about becoming indifferent, but rather about learning to care without losing yourself. The more you let go, the more space you create for peace, joy, and freedom. Number 5. Practice daily reflection. Have you ever felt like your days are flying by and you're just going through the motions? Well, daily reflection can help you pause, gain clarity, and really live each moment with intention. Let's talk about how and why you should incorporate this practice into your life. So what exactly is daily reflection? At its core, it's a practice where you take a few moments at the end of each day to reflect on what happened. It's a way to process your experiences, feelings, and thoughts. You can use it to celebrate wins, acknowledge challenges, and learn from the day's events. Think of it as a personal check-in where you assess your day, your mindset, and your goals. It helps you become more self-aware and gives you a chance to course correct if needed for the next day. Now you might be wondering, why is daily reflection important? Well, there are a few reasons. First, it helps you gain clarity. We often get so busy that we don't take the time to really think about what we're doing or how we're feeling. Reflection allows you to process emotions, learn from mistakes, and celebrate successes. It's a way to acknowledge progress, no matter how small, and it keeps you connected to your goals and values. Okay, so now let's talk about how to actually practice daily reflection. Don't worry, it doesn't take long. You only need about 5 to 10 minutes each day. Here's a simple process you can follow. Find a quiet space. Choose a calm spot where you won't be distracted. Reflect on your day. Ask yourself a few key questions. What went well today? What didn't go as planned? How did I feel? What did I learn? Write it down. Journaling your thoughts can help you organize them. It doesn't need to be perfect. Just write freely. Set an intention for tomorrow. Once you've reflected, think about how you want to approach the next day. It could be as simple as I'll be more patient or I'll focus on my health. There are so many benefits to this practice. Let me share a few with you. Improved self-awareness. You get to know yourself better, your habits, thoughts, and feelings. Reduced stress. By processing emotions, you can let go of what's weighing you down. Enhanced productivity. When you reflect, you can spot areas where you're wasting time or energy and make changes. Stronger relationships. Reflection can improve how you relate to others as you become more empathetic and mindful. All of these benefits combined can lead to a more balanced, fulfilling life. So if you're ready to start living more intentionally and getting the most out of each day, give daily reflection a try. It's a simple habit, but the impact can be huge. Start tonight, grab a journal, take 5 minutes and reflect on your day. I promise you'll start seeing the difference. Number 6. Cultivate inner peace. In a world full of chaos, finding inner peace is the ultimate journey. In a society that never seems to slow down, we often forget to nurture our own sense of calm and balance. But here's the good news. Inner peace isn't some mystical state reserved for monks or yogis on mountaintops. It's available to all of us. So, what exactly is inner peace? Inner peace is that sense of calm that exists within us, despite the chaos around us. It's a state of being where you feel centered, grounded, and in harmony with yourself. Most of us live in environments full of stress, work pressures, family obligations, societal expectations. It's no wonder we feel constantly overwhelmed. But inner peace is not about escaping the world. It's about finding stillness within it. When we have inner peace, our external world feels more manageable. It affects how we react to situations, how we relate to others, and ultimately, how we experience life. It also reduces anxiety, helps with clarity, and improves emotional resilience. The first and perhaps most transformative practice is mindfulness. Being present in the moment, paying attention to your thoughts without judgment, and simply being can dramatically shift your sense of peace. You can start small. Take 5 minutes each morning to just sit, breathe, and notice your thoughts. One of the biggest obstacles to inner peace is the constant need to control everything, our schedules, outcomes, people's opinions. But we have to realize that control is an illusion. By letting go of the need to control, we can experience a sense of freedom and ease. Nature has a way of grounding us like nothing else. Whether it's walking barefoot on the grass, listening to birds, or just sitting under a tree, connecting with nature reminds us that we're part of something bigger. Gratitude is a direct path to peace. When we focus on what we have instead of what's lacking, it changes our perspective. I like to take a few minutes every evening to list 3 things I'm grateful for. Try it. You'll notice a shift. Now, cultivating inner peace is a journey, and it's important to acknowledge the challenges along the way. One of the most common obstacles is overthinking. It pulls us away from the present and throws us into a spiral of what-ifs. One way to counter this is by practicing deep breathing. When you feel your mind racing, pause and focus on your breath. Another barrier is having too many expectations, whether of ourselves, others, or life situations. Sometimes accepting that not everything will go as planned is the most peaceful thing you can do. Remember, inner peace isn't something we achieve once and for all. It's a continuous practice. The world may still be loud and chaotic, but we have the power to remain calm within ourselves, and that is one of the greatest gifts we can give ourselves. Number 7. Develop resilience through adversity. Adversity. It's something we all face at some point in life. Whether it's personal, professional, or emotional challenges, adversity tests our strength. But what if I told you that it's through these very challenges that we can grow stronger, more resilient, and better prepared for future obstacles? Resilience is the ability to bounce back from adversity. It's not about avoiding challenges, but facing them head-on and learning from them. Resilience is a skill, one that anyone can develop with time and practice. Adversity, while uncomfortable, often forces us to tap into inner resources we didn't know we had. It's during these tough moments that we learn what we're truly capable of. After losing my job, I realized that my identity wasn't tied to my work. It gave me the push to explore other passions I had ignored for so long. Step 1 in developing resilience: don't shy away from challenges. Embrace them. They are inevitable, and every challenge is an opportunity to learn. Step 2. Focus on maintaining a positive outlook. This doesn't mean ignoring the pain or stress, but choosing to see adversity as temporary. With the right mindset, any problem can become a stepping stone to success. Step 3. Build a strong support network. You don't have to face adversity alone. Surround yourself with people who believe in you and encourage you when times get tough. Step 4. Prioritize self-care. Building resilience requires energy, both physical and mental. Make sure you're taking care of your body and mind through exercise, proper sleep, and mindful practices like meditation. Often the way we frame adversity can determine how resilient we become. By shifting your perspective and viewing obstacles as opportunities, you transform the way you approach life's challenges. When I started seeing my challenges as lessons, everything changed. It was no longer about, why is this happening to me, but what can I learn from this? You don't have to wait for a major crisis to start developing resilience. Begin by practicing these small steps in your everyday life. Embrace discomfort, stay positive, lean on others, and most importantly, believe in your ability to overcome. Adversity doesn't define you. How you respond to it does. With resilience, you can navigate life's toughest moments and come out stronger than ever. So, the next time life throws you a curveball, remember, it's your chance to rise. Number 8. Don't create your upsets. All right, let's start by asking a real question. How many times have you been upset, angry, or stressed out over something, only to realize later that it wasn't as bad as you thought? Or maybe it didn't even need to upset you in the first place. I know I've been there. What I'm talking about today is, don't create your own upsets. Here's the deal. We often blow things out of proportion, overthink, or assume the worst, and that just feeds our frustration. Let's break it down. Here are 3 common ways we create our own upsets. Overthinking. We've all done it. Something small happens, and suddenly we're spinning a whole web of what-if scenarios. A friend didn't text you back. Suddenly, you're thinking they hate you. The reality? Maybe they're just busy, assuming the worst ever. Had a situation where you didn't know the outcome, but you immediately assumed it would be bad. Like a meeting at work is scheduled, and you're thinking you're in trouble. But really, it's just about next week's project. We create unnecessary stress by assuming things will go wrong. Taking things personally. Sometimes it's not about you. Maybe someone was short with you, or a plan didn't work out, but instead of just letting it go, you take it personally and internalize it. That creates an upset where there doesn't need to be one. So, how do we stop this cycle? How do we avoid creating unnecessary upset? Here's the good news. It's totally possible with a little bit of awareness and practice. Let me share some strategies. Pause before reacting. When something happens that triggers you, stop for a moment. Before letting your emotions take over, ask yourself, is this really as bad as it seems? A simple pause can give you perspective. Challenge your thoughts. If you find yourself spiraling into overthinking, challenge those thoughts. Is what you're imagining based on reality, or are you just feeding your own anxiety? Communicate clearly. If you're unsure about something, ask. Don't sit with assumptions. If a friend's behavior confuses you, talk to them. Clear communication can prevent misunderstandings and save you from unnecessary stress. Let's say you send a text to a friend and they don't reply for hours. You start overthinking. Did I say something wrong? Are they mad at me? You create an upset that wasn't even there. Instead, try this. Think. Maybe they're just busy, and distract yourself with something else. Later, when they respond saying, "Sorry, was in a meeting," you'll realize it was never about you in the first place. So the next time you find yourself starting to get upset, take a moment. Ask yourself, am I creating this? And more often than not, the answer will be yes. We have enough challenges in life without creating more, so let's focus on staying calm, clear-minded, and letting go of things that don't need to weigh us down. All right, that's all I've got for you today. If this message resonated with you, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up and drop a comment below. Let's talk about how you handle your own upsets. I'd love to hear from you. Number 9, focus on the how, not the what. We're talking about a game-changing mindset shift, one that could completely transform how you achieve success in life. It's all about focusing on the how rather than the what. If you're ready to unlock your true potential, stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll understand why focusing on the process instead of obsessing over the outcome is the key to success. Let's dive in. Most people fixate on what they want, whether it's losing weight, landing a promotion, or starting a business. And while knowing what you want is important, it's really only the first step. But here's the problem. If all you focus on is the what, it can leave you feeling overwhelmed or even paralyzed. Think about it. Have you ever set a big goal for yourself and then felt stuck because you had no idea how to get there? That's what happens when we only look at the destination. Now, let me ask you this. What if instead of obsessing over the end goal, you focused on the steps it takes to get there? That's the how. The how is all about the process. It's the day-to-day actions, habits, and systems you create to work toward your goal. When you focus on how you're going to achieve something, you break down a big, intimidating goal into small, manageable steps. For example, let's say your goal is to write a book. The what is having that finished book in your hands. But focusing on the how means setting up a daily writing routine, committing to a certain number of words each day, and consistently showing up. The result? Your book gets written. It's not magic, it's the power of consistent action. When you focus on the process, the how, you take control of what you can actually influence. Outcomes are often unpredictable. Life happens, setbacks occur. But what's always in your control? The actions you take every day. Shifting your focus from the outcome to the process has several benefits. It reduces stress. You're not constantly worrying about the future, you're simply focusing on the next step. It builds momentum. Small wins add up. The more consistent you are, the more confident and motivated you'll feel. It helps you stay adaptable. When you're focused on the process, you can adjust your approach as you go, without feeling like you're failing because the outcome hasn't been reached yet. Let's look at some real-world examples. Take athletes, for instance. They don't just focus on winning championships. They focus on daily workouts, practice sessions, nutrition, and recovery. That's the how. When they get the process right, the championships often follow. Or think about successful entrepreneurs. They don't just dream of creating multi-million-dollar companies. They focus on small, consistent actions, building relationships, improving products, refining systems. Over time, these actions lead to massive success. Even artists and creators follow this approach. They don't focus solely on their finished masterpiece. They focus on the daily habit of creating, refining, and iterating. So, how do you start applying this mindset in your own life? Here are 3 actionable steps. Break down your goal. What's one big goal you want to achieve? Write it down, then break it into smaller steps. What can you do every day to get closer to that goal? Create a system. This is where you build a habit. If you want to improve your fitness, maybe your system is exercising for 30 minutes, 5 times a week. Keep it simple, consistent, and trackable. Focus on progress, not perfection. Remember, the goal isn't to get everything perfect the first time. It's about showing up consistently and refining your process over time. Focusing on the how rather than the what is truly a mindset shift that can help you achieve more than you ever imagined. Remember, success isn't about setting big goals and obsessing over the end result. It's about taking daily actions that move you forward one step at a time. If you found this video helpful, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more tips on productivity and personal growth. And let me know in the comments, what's one goal you're going to start focusing on the how for? Until next time, keep pushing forward, and I'll see you in the next video.